Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sitting Down with Schneider. Today is April 10th, and we are going to veer away from our high school seniors today for just one show. And we are going to go to New York City, and we are going to be talking with a young lady named Allie Re, who is living out in New York at this time. So let's bring Allie in. Just waiting here. Hey, there she is. Hey, Allie. How are you?
Hey!
I got you.
Yay!
I can hear you.
How's
Can
it
you hear
going?
me?
I can hear you.
Excellent. Excellent. How is everything out there?
Everything is, not so great, but also very good. You know?
Right?
Yeah.
You're in the heart of it out there in New York. Hey, Allie, before we start any more of the conversation, I just want to make sure it's okay with you that I am able to upload this onto my YouTube channel. Is that okay with you? Do you give me permission?
Yes, of course. Thank you for
Excellent.
asking. Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so Allie, before we start in on anything else, I'd love to the people out there to know a little bit about you. So, who are you, and tell us a little bit about your activities and what you're up to, and just give us a little background.
Great. I am Allie. I am originally from Brentwood, California. Went to Brentwood Elementary, Edna Hill, and Liberty High School, class of 2015. And I grew up doing theater, started at Black Diamond Theater Camp with the Schneiders. Ended up going to school, university, for musical theater. And I graduated almost a year ago. And I've been living in New York ever since, doing the whole actor grind, auditioning, meeting people, making ends meet any way you can, being young, all that.
So you are living there in New York City, and your sister's living there as well, right? With you out in New York City?
Yes. Luckily,
Excellent,
yeah, my
excellent.
little sister is going to college here as well, so we live together.
Got to say hi to Frankie for us when you get the
Yes,
chance. That'd be
I
great.
will.
So, just in general, Allie, with this current pandemic and everything, how are you holding up?
It's off and on. I think that when it first happened, I felt very empowered to make the decisions I felt were right. And then those decisions, are socially isolating, and distancing yourself. And then it kind of hit a brick wall when I realized it was going to go on for longer than normal. So there have been good days and there have been bad days. But overall, it's been my experience has been very good. Yeah.
Right. And I love how you preface that, overall, my experience, because we all acknowledge that everyone's going through such an amazingly hard time. So, what I took from what you just said was the relativity piece of it. You're
Hmm.
able to be like, even with the bad days, you're able to hang in just fine, to the best of your ability. What do you find
Yeah.
is the most difficult thing to deal with on a day-to-day basis since this is
Um,
happening?
Yeah, I think that I struggled with the idea of being alone for a really long time. It is something you take for granted living in a city like this because you could spend a whole day not seeing necessarily friends or socializing, but you're constantly around people. You on your way to work, you take the subway with a minimum 50 people, and you see people at work, and all those interactions that had filled up my day um, are now gone. And so I think that that was the biggest transition, is moving at a mile a minute to really having a lot of time with myself in my tiny apartment.
Yeah, I was gonna say, out here, Patty and I, Patrick, we're all busy, right? But
Hmm.
to me, Brentwood busy is certainly different than New York City busy, you know what I mean? And just like you said, that bustling, right? New York City is bustling. And I
Hmm.
don't know, I'm sure that you have to go out to get food or bring in, obviously you got to eat and everything.
Hmm.
Is the difference amazing out there, like in the streets and everything? Is it? Is it just pretty empty
Yeah,
out there?
it is incredibly empty. And I haven't been downtown I live uptown, basically at the top of the park. And I haven't been downtown where things are busy 100% of the time, but I've seen pictures of Times Square empty. And even up here, it is astounding. There are no cars on the streets, no driving, nobody's walking around. There are people in the park who go there for their kind of daily dose of outdoors because it is allowed. But it has been wild seeing everything kind of come to a halt in New York. Yeah.
It almost just feels surreal, doesn't it? It feels surreal.
Yeah, and I think that was another kind of brick wall of me realizing, like, wait, this is real, when you don't see people out on the streets, and it's kind of a reality check, I guess.
Well, I can imagine too the difficulty in, you're fresh off of your degree. Was it a BFA in musical
Yes.
theater? You're
Mm-hmm.
fresh off your degree, and you're auditioning, and I'm assuming, I don't know if you can video audition. Have they come to a complete halt?
So there were some, we call them self-tape submissions, where yes, you like film in your home, and those are normal for any time of year, sans
Mm-hmm.
crisis. It's just an easy way to get yourself seen for things. And there were a couple instances of those at the beginning of all of this, but then when obviously the Broadway theaters closed down, regional theaters started pulling their seasons, there just weren't even any jobs to audition for. So it has come to a stop, kind of a trickle down stop.
That's got to be just brutal to deal with, I mean, and again, I'm sure that in the whole scheme of things, not being able to audition, compared
Right.
to possibly going through catching this or having to go through it, the relativity of it, not such a big deal, but just to keep that energy and keep that drive. And if I know if anyone is going to keep it and take any opportunity, whether it be over video or once this all lifts, I know you're gonna keep that rolling. But yeah, that must just be really tough to stay positive in that scenario.
It is disappointing that is like a necessary evil of all of this, but I know myself and a couple other of my peers from school, we all keep in touch, and other just creative friends. We've all found this time to be so fruitful for our creativity, because the things that you can't really stop your day and do, we now have unlimited time to do, whether it's watch a new TV series with an actor or director you love, or I've been playing more guitar, and of course have been meaning to do that for a really long time, but now I
Mm-hmm.
have, an hour a day I've been playing guitar. So I think, especially for folks who have just come out of university and hit the ground running, it's actually been fruitful in its own way, I guess.
Kind of that silver lining, a time to take a breath and reevaluate some things. One of the questions I asked the kids, the seniors, was, do you find yourself, did you find something about yourself that you maybe didn't
Mm.
know, existed? And from that answer you just said, it seems like just that taking time for yourself to kind of reevaluate and look at some things is really important. That's awesome.
Yeah,
You mentioned
definitely.
shows on a show that you might watch with a particular actor. Have you done any binge watching of any shows on like Netflix or any of those things?
Yes. I'll mention two. One is called Unorthodox, which is really good on Netflix, which I recommend everyone check out. But the other
Okay.
is slightly embarrassing. I have made a life goal of watching every episode of Law and Order SVU, with the goal of hopefully being on SVU one day, because it's a TV show that films out of New York City. So I've been spending an ungodly amount of time with Mariska Hargitay and Ice-T.
Well, I'm sure that all the producers, of that show are probably going to be watching Sitting Down with Schneider. So we're going to do a shout out right there, right? Okay, right here, Allie Re. When it's time to start filming the new set of the series.
Of SVU, questionable.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it's
goodness.
definitely a little dark to binge all the time, but I don't know why. I think because it's the longest running drama, I wanted to like finish all of it, all
No, and it's a
21
great
seasons.
series, and if you're gonna jump in, that's a great one to watch.
Yeah.
Um, So one of the things I've also been asking is when this is all said and done, like once this all lifts, right? You've been, like you said, in your little apartment for such a long period of time. What's like the first one or two things that this is, you're able to go out, it's lifted. I know it's not just going to happen overnight, but more
Right.
freedoms are going to eventually come. What are going to be a couple things you're going to want to do right off the bat?
I'm probably gonna hug anyone who will let me hug them. I will ask permission first, but after that, it's over. I'm hugging them for a very long time, and I would love to just go out in the park and sit in the lawn with my friends. I know it's very simple, but it's kind of our way of getting in touch with nature and also spending time with one another. And it's just there's no stressors there in those like really relaxed times. So that'd be lovely.
Yeah, just cherishing those simple things, huh?
Exactly. It's the simple
Yeah.
things that you didn't realize you would even have to take for granted. You know what I mean? It's
Oh
weird.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Hey, we over online we recast and we're actually doing I just wanted to share this with you. I thought it'd be fun.
Oh, I
We're
heard.
doing a new cast version of 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee with BDTC with the new crew. Yep,
I'm so
yep. And
excited.
uh, I have to mention this because I don't know if you still have the pink overalls, but Emily Redmond
Mhm.
is playing Olive, and so she may be looking for some pink overalls. So she may be contacting you in the very near future.
They are in Brentwood in a closet. We can definitely hook her up with
Oh,
those.
they're here in Brentwood.
Yeah, with my mom. Yep.
Okay, I don't know why. I thought maybe you'd bring him to sport him out in New York around. I just didn't know if you were doing that or not. So
Maybe I should. I'll reconsider. That's
hey,
good luck.
Allie, I'd love to just keep chatting all day long, but I'm trying to keep these, fairly concise with just kind of checking in with people. So I wanted to ask you before we sign off on this official interview, do you have any like parting words? Or I don't want to say parting
Yeah.
words. That just sounds too scary in our current situation. Do you have any words of advice or some you want to say before we kind of head out here?
I want to say to the seniors, I'm really feeling for everyone who's missing out on their prom, their graduation. It's such a special time to kind of celebrate a milestone, especially folks who are going off to jobs, to school, whatever form that may be. And so I hope everyone kind of takes a second to do something for themselves. Of course, there's a lot we can do for other people, like isolate, but take something to celebrate yourself, whether it be learning a new instrument or celebrating a milestone virtually with your friends and family, because there's still a lot of joy to celebrate even in these crazy times.
Man, awesome way of looking at things there, Allie. Keeping it positive.
Try our
I can't
best.
wait to see that once, like you said, as there's some things you can do over the internet, and then once it lifts, seeing as you keep throwing yourself into the fray and seeing where you land. I cannot wait to see here in the next few years how things start to evolve. Thank you so much for sitting
Thank
down with
you.
me and doing this all the way from New York City.
I'm very glad. I'm very glad you asked. I miss you all there, and it's this has been a lovely event for my whole day.
Hey, I'm sure that Hay and Rach and everyone else will check it out. So that'll be really fun. And
Yay!
it was absolutely
Thanks, my
wonderful being able to see
friends.
your face. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks, Schneider. I'll
All
talk to
right,
you soon.
kiddo. Take care.
Bye.